Good evening, everybody. I'm meteorologist Beau Dodson. We're going to take a look at our winter weather event that will move into the area later tonight and especially on Sunday into Sunday afternoon. Take a look at radar. Here we are in the tri-state area here in northwest Tennessee. All right. All right, let's try that again. So this is our first attempt at doing this. Going to be some technical issues, I guess. We'll try to make sure there's no feedback. So I'm meteorologist Beau Dodson. We're going to take a look at our winter weather event that's moving into the area late tonight into Sunday. Most of the precipitation will fall after 4 a.m. tonight, although we could have a little light snow before then. The bulk of it will hold off until 4 a.m. onward, first starting over southeast Missouri and then spreading eastward. Again, before 4 a.m. we could have some light snow showers. Let's take a look at radar. You can see this band of precipitation developing from South Dakota down into Southern Illinois. We have some dry air aloft, and what happens is the snowflakes evaporate before they reach the ground. We call this virga, and virga is basically precipitation that falls from the cloud into the dry layer of air, and then it evaporates. It can take a little while, several hours, for the entire column of air to saturate. Once that happens, the snowflakes will reach the ground. So some of this, what you're seeing on radar, is actually virga. Now, over the next few hours, this will increase in intensity, and you're also going to see precipitation develop over Kansas, southwest Missouri, northern Arkansas. We have this upper level disturbance that's over Montana, South and North Dakota. It's going to move southeast overnight, and as it moves southeast, you're going to see precipitation rapidly develop to our west, and this will expand into our area, mostly during the morning hours. Let's take a look at that. Here's the disturbance. You can watch it move into Missouri Valley and Illinois overnight, and then tomorrow pulls off to the east. And then watch this next area here. This is another disturbance that will drop down and develops an area of low pressure, probably over Mississippi, Alabama, and then that will move up the east coast. The exact track of this second disturbance is still a bit questionable, and how far north and west it travels will mean the difference between precipitation ending in our area Sunday afternoon and evening, or precipitation lingering into Monday morning over our area. The most concern for the second system would probably be the Missouri Boot Hill into western Kentucky and western Tennessee, and some of that may end up being rain, as we will warm up on Monday morning, probably after sunrise, although some data does take Poplar Bluff area in Missouri Boot Hill, northwest Tennessee above freezing before sunrise. The odds are that the freezing line may hold off a little bit longer, especially if we have snow, sleet on the ground. That's going to take it a little while longer to warm up. Let's take a look at the winter weather advisories that the National Weather Service has issued. Pretty much the entire region has a winter weather advisory. You notice there's not any winter storm warnings. Winter storm warnings are usually issued when we have a little bit more snow, heavier snow, 4 inches or more. in a period of a 6 to 12 hour period, you'll get a winter storm warning. But this is going to be a light event, but I want you to focus on the fact that we'll have icy roads, hazardous road conditions. It's only going to take a little bit of sleet, snow, or freezing rain to cause problems. And the reason that is because the roads are cold. We were in the single digits to teens last night. It's still cold today. We're going to be cold tonight. We're not going to warm up tonight, and we're not going to warm up on Sunday. So whatever falls is going to cause some problems on the roadways, especially secondary roads. Of course, interstates, typically those fare a little better, and I do know that they have been out treating some of the roads. But with temperatures in the 20s, I suspect we're going to have a lot of icy road conditions on Sunday morning into Sunday night. Now, roads may improve on Monday morning once we go above freezing, but some of that will depend on just how much sleet falls. Sleet's going to take a little longer to melt than snow, and if we have a lot of sleet, which I suspect some of us will have quite a bit of sleet, that may mean the hazardous road conditions will linger well into Monday morning and possibly even Monday afternoon for parts of the area, especially once you get up towards Farmington, Missouri, over towards Mount Vernon, perhaps into the Owensboro area. It may take longer for snow and ice to melt because temperatures will stay colder up there longer. Let's take a look at some of the models. Well, let me show you this first. The difference between rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. And what I want you to imagine is if you look on your right, the entire column there is snow, and the reason that's all snow is because the entire atmospheric column is below freezing. If you move a little bit over to the left, you'll see a freezing line there, and in that red zone is a nudge of warmer air aloft. When you get that nudge of warmer air, your snowflakes melt, and once your snowflakes melt, that's it. They're not going to become snowflakes again. But what will happen is if the depth of the below 32 degrees is deep enough, it will refreeze into ice pellets. We call that sleet. If you move over to the left a little more, you see the red zone is deeper. That means the warm air layer is deeper. And so the ice doesn't have time to freeze into sleet again, and it falls as freezing rain. If you move all the way over to the left, it's warm above freezing from several thousand feet up all the way to the surface of the earth, and that way you just have rain. Your snowflakes melt, turn to rain, and you don't have to worry about anything. So over the next 24 hours, we're going to have a little bit of everything: sleet, snow, freezing rain, and yes, even some rain. At some point on Monday, whatever's left over will probably change to rain. At least over our southern and southeastern counties. Precipitation may end sooner over southeast Missouri and southern Illinois before it really has a chance to change over to rain. So the best chance of rain will be our southern and southeastern counties. Take a look at the probability map for this, and you see that I have put a pretty good chance of a dusting everywhere, 90%, a 60% chance of 1 inch, 40% chance of 2 inches, 30% chance of 3 inches. I may be a little low on the 1 to 3 inch probabilities, especially true for northern parts of southeast Missouri, most of southern Illinois, and northwest Kentucky. That would include, let's say, Carbondale, let's say Farmington, Missouri, Carbondale, over towards Carmi, Illinois, Owensboro, Kentucky, those areas. Pretty good bet you're going to have 2 or 3 inches of snow with this event. If we would not change to sleet or freezing rain, I would be calling for widespread 2 to 4 inches of snow, with maybe even 4 or 5 inches across parts of Kentucky. But what is anticipated to happen is that we'll change over to sleet, and sleet is not your friend if you like snow, because sleet will cut down on your snow totals. Sleet just does not accumulate as much typically as snow does. So wherever you change to freezing rain and sleet, you're going to cut your snow totals. And of course, freezing rain would melt whatever snow does fall at the beginning of the system. The The most likely area for freezing rain will be southeast Missouri. As a matter of fact, Poplar Bluff, I was looking at some soundings earlier, some models, and they may be mostly freezing rain and sleet with just a little snow. So snow accumulations over parts of southeast Missouri should be fairly low. I'll show you a graphic here. You see the Butler County area having a ½ inch to 1 inch, the Missouri Boot Heel into northwest Tennessee. Again, the reason those areas are light on the snow totals isn't because they're not going to get as much precipitation as everyone else. It's because they're going to change to freezing rain and sleet. And again, freezing rain and sleet is going to cut down on your totals. As you move north and east of that line, you're going to see more snow accumulation. I put 2 to 3 inches over northern parts of southern Illinois. Let's again say from Farmington, Missouri, Perryville, over to Jackson, Williamson County, and then over towards Owensboro. 2, 3, 4 inches of snow is a pretty good bet in those areas. Now, if I'm wrong, it's probably because sleet develops further north and east than anticipated, and again, that may cut down on your totals. For Bollinger County, Cape Girardeau County, Scott, Mississippi, most of far southern Illinois, far west Kentucky, the lakes area, generally 1 to 3 inches of snow appears to be a good bet. There's some debate on just how much sleet cuts down on totals in these areas. I went with 1 to 3 inches of snow. Some of that's going to end up being sleet, and maybe even some of that ends up being freezing rain. There are some indications that parts of Kentucky could have more snow on Sunday night than areas to the north and west, and the reason that will be is because a second system will come in here on Sunday evening into Sunday night and reinforce precipitation over parts of our area, most likely the Missouri Boot Heel into northwest Tennessee and then along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. If that happens, and if that were to be snow, then you could add a couple of inches of snow on top of what you already have. But the thinking is that will end up being freezing rain and sleet, and then possibly changing to just plain old cold rain, non-freezing rain. Freezing rain is rain that instantly freezes when it touches surfaces. If it changes over to rain, of course, that's just going to melt your snow. So there are some question marks still on how Monday plays out. Hoping to have a little better idea on that with some new data coming in later this evening. Let me take you through a couple of models and what they're showing. This is the 4 kilometer NAM model, and this is showing you snowfall totals. And if you notice back here in southeast Missouri towards far west Kentucky, northwest Tennessee, it's not showing anything. That's not because there's not going to be frozen precipitation back here. It's because this model guidance believes most of it will be freezing rain and sleet versus snow. Your heavier snow totals extend from east central Missouri into southern Illinois and then parts of western Kentucky, where you see the blues, the dark blues. That's 1, 2, 3 inches of snow. And the WRF model, the NAM model here, even shows some higher totals than that. But again, that will depend on whether sleet develops in those areas as well. Let me switch you over to another model. This is the regular NAM. This is not the high resolution NAM. The resolution on this NAM model is not as great as the one I just showed you. In theory, the higher resolution model would do a better job of capturing how much snow will fall. This model, the NAM, shows you some pretty heavy totals over southern Illinois. Matter of fact, it's showing 4, 5, and 6 inches. The reason that it may be showing these bigger totals is it's not changing them over to sleet sooner. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, you can see how this second band of heavier snow develops. That's in response to the second storm that comes in Sunday night and Monday morning. That's still, again, a question mark as to how far north and west that travels. So tomorrow morning, after 4 a.m., into the morning hours, into the afternoon hours, snow, sleet, freezing rain, area-wide. Whether you have snow accumulation or not, you're still going to have ice, sleet, or freezing rain. Other areas will have snow, transitioning to sleet, maybe freezing rain. The best chance of the transition zone will be Farmington, Missouri, southward, say Farmington, Missouri to Owensboro, and then south and west of that line could see a wintry mix. The further southwest you travel in the area, the better chance of wintry mix. That includes Poplar Bluff, the Missouri Boot Hill, northwest Tennessee, perhaps southwest Kentucky, Fulton, Hickman counties. Somewhere along that line, you're going to see the changeover to freezing rain and sleet. North and east of that line probably stay snow longer. Let's take a look at the GFS. This is another model guidance that forecasters look at. And one thing you notice, all of them are showing the same thing for southeast Missouri, northwest Tennessee, and southwest Kentucky. So that adds some confidence that these areas are mostly going to be freezing rain and sleet with just a little snow. All of the data shows the better snowfall totals from Farmington, Missouri through southern Illinois into northwest Kentucky, maybe the lakes area of Kentucky, and then into south central Kentucky. Again, some of this heavier precipitation is in response to the second system that develops on Sunday night and Monday. So all three of those models are showing basically the same thing. That does add some confidence to the forecast for our area. Let's take a look at the Futurecast radar. This is what the model believes radar may look like later tonight into Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. I'll let it start back over here. We'll start at the current time stamp. All right. See if it starts over for us. This runs through Monday night, and this is that second storm. So here we go again. This is this evening. You see this little band on radar that we saw earlier. This is Futurecast. Later tonight, 11 p.m., 12 a.m., 3 a.m., you see precipitation breaking out over our area. Then we move towards the 6 a.m. time frame right about here. You see snow, sleet, some freezing rain, pink and purple, sleet and freezing rain, blue is snow. This takes us to the lunch hour. Now watch what happens late Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. You'll see this area back here start to dry out a little bit, and the precipitation shifts to the south and east. So parts of southeast Missouri and southern Illinois should be done with the bulk of the precipitation after 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. But precipitation lingers over Missouri Boot Hill, maybe far southern Illinois, into Kentucky and Tennessee into the evening hours on Sunday. And again, that second storm, if it were to track a little further northwest, then precipitation would be thrown back again Sunday night into Monday morning across parts of our area, most likely the Boot Hill into parts of south central Kentucky, northwest Tennessee. Not as confident on what happens with that second storm system. I did make a map that showed what if sleet did not develop? How much snow might we see? You can see here 1 to 3 inches over parts of southeast Missouri, 2 to 3 over northwest Tennessee, a little bit more over here in Kentucky in response to that second storm system, widespread 2 to 4 over southern Illinois. Again, this is if the sleet doesn't develop, but all indications are that we are going to see quite a bit of sleet mix in with this snow, especially over southeast Missouri, far southern Illinois, west Kentucky, far west Kentucky, northwest Tennessee. Now, the further north and east you travel, then the better chances that you may stay mostly snow. And if that happens, then your snow totals go up a little bit. The main concern with the system will be icy road conditions. Whether you get 2 inches of snow or 3 inches of snow, it's not going to make that much difference on road conditions. You're going to have icy road conditions. Show you a couple more maps here. This is the accumulated rainfall from the GEM model, rain and snow. And these dark blue areas, this is pretty heavy precipitation. This model wants to push that second storm a bit further north and west than some of the other guidance. And because of that, it pumps higher totals, quite a bit higher totals over the Missouri Boot Hill into parts of West Kentucky and South Central Kentucky. Again, in order for that to happen, that second storm is going to have to come in a little bit further west and a little bit further north. Most of the models do not show that happening, and most of the guidance, ensembles and guidance, pushes it further south and east. But it is something to consider, in the GEM model, the Canadian model, has been fairly persistent in showing this. It hasn't flip-flopped a lot like some of the other models. It has stuck to its guns on this track where we get some heavier precip in the Missouri Boot Hill and western Kentucky, West Tennessee later on Sunday night into Monday morning. But again, the question mark is, what will temperatures be like during that time period? We should go above freezing at some point Monday morning and change that to rain, but will that occur after quite a bit of sleet has fallen and maybe some freezing rain as well? That's something that I'll be monitoring over the next 12 to 24 hours to see the trends on that second system. Let me show you a brand new model that just came in. This is the HRR model, and you can see later tonight it shows some heavy precipitation developing over southern Missouri. Here we are at 6 a.m. That's heavy snow, sleet, and some freezing rain. It only goes out to about 6 or 7 in the morning. It goes out 15 hours. Each hour it updates. But one thing it has been showing is it's been showing heavier precip totals than any of the other models. Typically, I like this model, and it does a good job. It does a pretty good job in the short range time period for the forecast, and this would be the short range the next 15 hours. So whether it's onto something or not, we'll have to wait and see. If it is onto something, then the totals I have would need to be increased. I'm going to watch the trends on this over the next few hours and see if it continues to believe some of these heavier totals might verify. And some of that is actually sleet, not just snow. But even so, heavy sleet in this situation, there could be quite a bit of ice on the roadways, and it would take longer for it to clear off the roadways on Monday. Take a look at the Sunday school forecast in the morning. We do have snow and sleet over most of the area developing Sunday morning. Icy road conditions, 9 a.m. temperature, middle 20s, and by noon still in the middle to upper 20s. Cold. We're not going to go above freezing very fast tomorrow if we do at all. If we go above freezing, it'd probably be on Monday morning. If you have not signed up for the text messaging service, please do so. You can go to weathertalk.com and sign up for that. There's about 4 different choices of the types of text messages you'd like to receive, and you can pick and choose 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of them. I did add one for people that like to receive more text messages during the day, for you diehard weather fans. Let's take a look at satellite view. Here's our disturbance coming out of South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana. It's going to be moving southeast overnight. These are clouds, not precipitation, but you can see the moisture increasing even now into our area. And then this down here in Oklahoma, Arkansas, southwest Missouri will start to fill in with more moisture later tonight as well. So you'll have precip coming in from the northwest as the system, the short wave, dives down into the Missouri Valley. And in response to that, you'll see precipitation increase over Missouri, Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma, and that will all push eastward into the wee early morning hours on Sunday. All right, I will answer some questions on the Facebook page. A lot of you have asked me about travel. Pretty much at any given time tomorrow, icy roads are likely in our region. So if you're asking whether you should travel in the morning or not, the answer will be the same, that icy road conditions are possible tomorrow morning into probably Monday morning. The only place it might see some improvement Monday morning would be perhaps if Poplar Bluff or the Missouri Boot Hill, northwest Tennessee goes above freezing at some point Sunday night as warmer air moves in, but more likely that would be on Monday morning. So icy road conditions are possible into Monday morning, probably going to be some school closings. How quickly they can clean off the roads on Monday, if we actually get into the upper 30s, lower 40s, then that certainly would help clean off the roads and would help road crews considerably. If we remain in the 30s and we have a lot of sleet on the road, that's going to take longer to melt. And if you get to 34, 35, 36, 37, 38 degrees, not sure that's going to be warm enough to improve some of the secondary roads in the region, especially areas that have a lot of sleet. Areas that don't have a lot of sleet would remain below freezing anyway longer, because those areas would be north, and the freezing line won't reach northern counties until late morning Monday into early afternoon. So either way, the Monday morning commute could be a problem. All right, well, that's about it from me. I will try to answer some more questions, as I have been on Facebook during the day. We'll try to do these videos more often, still learning the technology. So thank you for joining in, and I will see you over on the Facebook.